ראית שעד שנצבור קצת טוען להתחיל ישר באינטרדקשן אינטרוויו, שנחכה איזה דקה, שתיים של small talk כזה שצוברים קצת traffic?
Yeah, we can do some small talk before introducing you, just to get some viewing going. We can talk about your visit here in Israel, when we last met before the world burned down.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the Dead Sea. I just ordered 40 pounds of Dead Sea salt, and I've been taking Dead Sea salt baths, but I don't float in the tub. It's not the same.
Nice. That's a lot of sea salt in your baths.
I didn't realize. I did a quick Amazon purchase. I didn't realize it was
Nice.
40 pounds, but it was.
Okay, so let's see. 1 million subscribers on her channel Mango Street, which she runs with her husband Daniel. On her new fitness channel, Rachel Gulotta Fitness. Rachel, thank you. Cool. Okay, so I think we can start, guys. Let me know when are we on air. Okay, Rachel, how have you been doing? I think we've since seen each other. When was the last time we've met?
I think that was in 2019, I want to say, but maybe even 2018, maybe 2019.
I think it was 2019. You and Daniel came over to the Artlist headquarters and traveled to Israel. How was that for you guys?
It was awesome. It was so beautiful. We stayed in Tel Aviv. You showed us around, took us up north to the Artlist offices. Yeah, checked out some of the beautiful landscape nearby. We checked out the Dead Sea, which I've been thinking about so much lately. Yeah, it was really fun, and it was really beautiful.
Yeah, we're waiting for the whole COVID-19 to pass us and be behind us, and then you guys will be with us again. Maybe we'll come back to Israel and meet us, and we'll create some more content together. So thank you for everybody for joining our live YouTube session with Rachel Gulotta. If you don't know who Rachel is, she's an amazing photographer, filmmaker, fitness instructor. She and her husband Daniel run 3 YouTube channels. The main one they run together called Mango Street, with over 1 million subscribers, talking about photography and filmmaking and editing and all that good stuff. And lately, you and Daniel opened 2 YouTube channels. Daniel opened on the finance world, and you opened for the fitness world, and you just hit 100,000 subscribers, and Daniel got to that mark before you, right?
Yeah, he has stopped letting me know that.
That's like an undertone competition.
Yeah, we bet each other. Whoever hit it first has to get a Larry Bird tattoo.
So you're gonna get that tattoo?
I guess I'm gonna get that tattoo, but he's gonna have to look at it. So I don't know who really lost.
Cool. Okay, so that's Rachel. So Rachel, thank you for joining us, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you about filmmaking, about YouTube, all for the sake of the Women's Day, where we want to spotlight women creators. So I think we're gonna jump right into the first question.
Sure.
I think we got warmed up a little bit. So when did you start your filmmaking career?
Sure. So we started the YouTube channel in 2017. Before that, we were doing mostly wedding photography and making videos for that. And that started, I did my first wedding in 2012 and then started my business the next year in 2013. And so since I've been doing things in the photo video world since 2013, but in the YouTube world since 2017.
Cool. What drew you into the photo and filmmaking world in 2012, 13?
I think it has a lot to do with my personality. Like I like making things, but I'm also very introverted. So I really like the idea of being behind the camera, telling stories without having to like talk, which I know is kind of counter intuitive in terms of being on YouTube mostly now,
Right.
because we're in front of the camera a lot more. But I still think even though we're doing YouTube videos, it's still a lot more behind the camera than in front of the camera compared to other people. So yeah, that's kind of what drew me in is being able to tell stories without having to do
Talk
stuff like
that
this, like
much.
talk live. Yeah.
Awesome. But in the end, you found yourself doing YouTube. But you
Yeah,
say like it's you feel like you're doing more work behind the camera, basically. That's what you feel like.
I do. Yeah. Like we'll do short intros and outros, but for the most part, we're just going behind the scenes of our shoots, or we're giving tips as like we show B-roll and we do like voiceovers. It's not a lot of like turning the camera and talking to it, which is not my favorite thing in the
Not
world to
like
do.
daily vlogging stuff or
No.
like just vlogging. Cool. Um, do you have any influences? Like who influenced you regarding like photography, filmmaking?
Sure. So in terms of photography, I guess and filmmaking, um, I really don't like looking to other photographers in our niche because I feel like it's really hard to I don't know, be creative when you're just only being influenced by the people who are making the same things over and over around you. And so I always try to like look to find inspiration outside of photography. So like whether it be movies or music or books, anything that sparks like an emotion or feeling or an idea in me, and taking that and then making photos out of it, I feel like is one of the things that like helps us, I don't know, not just like fall into trends that you kind of see on Instagram over and over again, just kind of like doing our own thing, but inspired. You know, it's not our own thing because we're being inspired by other things, but it's not just, taking photos that already exist and then recreating those photos over and over again.
Well, it's a
Was
lie to say that you came up with something. Like everybody gets inspired from something. Either it's from, like you said, like music or pictures.
Yes.
But let's like the main source of your inspiration is what music, what, photos, paintings.
Yeah. So we've done some videos where we've actually done that. Like we did a photo shoot inspired by Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is one of my favorite movies. And so you kind of grab your favorite still frames from that movie and then like apply that to photography. We did a whole shoot based on that. We've done where like we'll take a song and then we'll break down some of the parts of the songs, some of the like feelings that are that you get from the song, or some of the ideas that like the lyrics maybe paint, the pictures that the lyrics paint. You take those and then you make photos from those,
Cool.
and that's just I don't I have a hard time calling it original. Like you said, like it comes from somewhere, but it's just different than just like looking to other photographers in your niche.
It's giving it your own vision, your own take on whatever inspires you. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's cool. So like Eternal Sunshine is one of your favorite references for creating like
Yeah,
content
we
or
did the whole photo shoot based off of that movie. And that photo shoot was more like we would try to recreate the frames from that movie. So I guess it's less like inspired and more derivative. But yeah, but for the most part, like when I get an idea for a photo shoot, it's usually because I'm like jogging and listening to a song and I'm like, oh, I love that idea. Like, and I picture this thing in my head and I want to create that. Um, yeah, instead of just like scrolling Instagram and seeing a photo and saying like, how can I like, shot for shot recreate this thing? I like to be inspired by things outside of photography for photography. If that
awesome.
makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. It makes sense. And, inspiration comes from all different things. I remember the last time we've talked, I've like asked you some questions regarding that. I remember you were talking about like when inspiration hits, it's not when you're like looking at a video or a movie, it's actually when you're doing something completely else, like jogging or in the
Yeah.
shower.
Yeah, I like to call it the shower theory because that's what they call it on 30 Rock. But yeah, doing something mindless that like distracts this part of your brain that lets the creative part of your brain kind of have free reign. So like jogging, doing the dishes, taking a shower, doing those like menial tasks. Um, that's where I feel the most,
For me,
I don't
it's
know, in the
getting
mood.
ready in the morning. That's like when
Yeah?
I'm like, I remember that thing that I saw. I have a great idea that could connect to it, and then I always write it down, or on a phone or something, or just
Yeah.
record myself saying like, "What's the idea?" And then
Yeah.
give people to listen. It's always like weird a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's cool. Um, so how do you like you're doing YouTube? How do you combine that with like being an introvert?
Um, I don't think that those two things normally mix. I think like one of the questions that we get a lot is like, I want to make videos, I want to do these things, but like I'm so introverted, I'm so bad at being in front of the camera. And I think that um, we haven't let that stop us. I think that, and I could be wrong about this, but I think that being an introvert means being like deeply aware of who you are. You're like spending so much time inside of yourself that you know your voice, you're familiar with it, because it's you're the person you spend the most time with, and so I think it was very easy for us to figure out like what our voice was in terms of making videos because of that. And so if you're an introvert, I would just say like leverage, the fact that you know your voice, you know your style, you know what you like, and make videos that, I don't know, encapsulate that. And, you know, it's going to be different than the majority of like the vlog style, like your Logan Pauls and your whoever else is trending on YouTube right now. It's going to be different than that. And it's not going to be for everyone. But, just because you're introverted doesn't mean that you can't make YouTube videos. You can just like make it work for you.
For sure, and I think specific the case for Mango Street, that was part of the charm. For me, I remember seeing you guys, and it was like they're not trying to be like, I don't know, something else on camera. Like that's them, that's who they are. Like they're a little bit quiet, and I really liked it. I think that's a lot of the charm. Like being yourself, being authentic is a big part of it.
It's not for everyone. We're not for everyone for sure. People let us know all the time. But yeah, like we've done collabs with a lot of different kinds of YouTubers, and it's always like jarring to like once the camera turns on, like a personality turns on. Like a lot of your favorite YouTubers are really like toned down, normal people.
Right.
But like once they turn the camera on, they can flip this like charming personality on. And I just like I don't have access to a charming personality. Like that's never gonna be me. And it does like I feel like we've kind of proven that you can still do videos without it. But yeah, again, not for everyone, but for some people it works.
Well, I think the fact that you guys have more than 1 million subscribers is just the fact that you don't need to be eccentric or like all over the place the minute you press record on the button. So it's a fact. Be authentic.
Yeah. I think people crave like different things. Like they don't want everybody to be the exact same personality turned on. Like you kind of want different flavors here and there. So I do think there's a place for anyone.
And now, how does it feel to be like on Mango Street? You and Daniel are together, and sometimes he's more on camera, and you're less on camera. You're more voiceovering the video. But with your fitness channel, it's you constantly on camera. So how is that for you? It's probably new.
Yeah. So even on my fitness channel, like you can tell an introvert makes those videos. I don't look at the camera. There's no talking. Like most fitness channels are like instructors just like yelling at you or like shouting platitudes, and that's
Do
not me.
this now.
Yeah, it's just the text on the screen and every once in a while a voiceover, but never me talking to the camera. And so yeah, it's not that different from Mango Street for me on the fitness channel either. Even though I am in front of the camera 100% of the time, I'm not like interacting with it.
Cool. And like that's a side that I haven't knew about you even when I met you face to face, and we got to talk a lot, but I didn't know you're that into fitness. Like what drew you into opening a fitness channel?
Yeah, so just around the time that the pandemic came to Los Angeles last year, our gyms closed. And so I turned to YouTube for, the same way that most people did. And I just didn't see, it was like when we started our photography channel, there were so many photography channels that weren't, they didn't have what we were looking for. There were a lot of like long-winded talking. They just focus on the tech. They didn't focus on our style. And so we're like, there's like a gap here that like we could fill with like what we like about photography or what we like about our favorite kind of tutorials, like short, succinct tutorials. And I felt the same way about fitness videos. There's a lot of them that are like loud EDM music, people, yelling at you to do. There wasn't a lot of like calming. Like I like my workouts not necessarily be so hard, but I just like them to make like my brain feel good. Like that's my goal when I work out, and I wasn't seeing that on YouTube. So I was like, there's a little gap here. Maybe I can try to fill it. And so that's what I've been doing since last July. That's when I started.
Cool. Did you see, so last July, it means like in the middle of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see, I remember it was a trend. I remember like a lot of fitness instructors were doing like Zoom live sessions, and you probably saw like the opportunity there. Did you see like an increase with COVID cases going up and then like maybe a little bit of a decrease in your traffic, or like did you see
No, so the main boost, which I found out later, was in April, which is when I should have started my channel if I really wanted that boost. I got a boost around October, but it didn't seem to correlate with any numbers. I put out a 30-day workout program in October, and I think that just made people start watching my videos more. Yeah, I don't think I wasn't very strategic, I guess, in my timing.
Well, you did do that eventually, and it's pretty successful right now. So, but yeah, that's so you did like a 30-day program where every day you put out a video, and that what really gave you the boost?
Yeah, I have a 30-day program where people can sign up for it, and then they get sent a daily playlist of my
Wow.
videos to watch. And so that's like, that got a lot of people watching the same videos over and over, which I think helps the algorithm like makes the algorithm think that people like your channel, so they'll recommend videos more, which is adds to growth. I think nobody knows how the algorithm actually works.
Mysterious
I just think
algorithm. Cool. Let's see. How is it managing two separate YouTube channels? Like, because I saw you guys are now publishing a little bit less on Mango Street. So
we are.
Is
Yeah.
that like a conscious decision?
Yes. So we've wanted to, for a long time, we've wanted to go down to like one video per month. That's just like a big video, like a big photo shoot, something like really excites us. Because it's a lot to do a video every week. It feels like a hamster wheel. And yeah, we're finally getting to the place where we're doing about like 2 videos a week. If we have to do like ad spots in our videos, we're just trying to keep it so that we still have extra videos that don't have ad spots, because we don't want to just make a video whenever we have to do an ad. That feels really depressing to me. But yeah, we're finally able to like cut back on those a little bit, but we're at the same time putting out more videos a week than we ever have before. Like on my channel, I do 3 a week. Daniel on his channel does 2 a week. And then Mango is like 1 every 2 weeks now. So it's still so much work.
Well, it's taking care. Are you helping Daniel with his channel, by the way, or you're like completely separate?
the channels are completely separate, but we do help each other when needed. Like I'll help take his thumbnails. Um, he bounces feedback off of me. I'm not interested by the topics in his channel. And so if I can understand a video, then he knows that it's like a broad audience can understand it. But yeah, it's mostly separate.
Nice. So you've created 3 YouTube channels now. You know, all of them are around teaching, giving people tips, advice, and they're all successful YouTube channels. And you probably learned a lot along the way. You probably learned from your mistakes. So maybe we can make it a little bit easier for all the up-and-coming YouTubers or people that want to open a YouTube channel. Like, what tips would you give them for starting a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I think that just like actually making videos over and over, taking photos over and over that's the way that you get better. But if you want to learn from my mistakes or like learn from what works for us, what we found is the main thing is just consistency. So pick a schedule that works for you, an upload schedule. For us, for a very long time, for like 4 years, it was once a week. That's what we commit to make our best video the most frequently that we could. And we posted at the same time every day, so everybody who followed us knows Monday, Mango Street video. So that's big, being consistent. Kind of knowing your voice, I think, is really important. Like I was talking about earlier, there's a lot of people who see a YouTuber that they really like, and then they just want to completely emulate that. And then what they end up doing is just making like a less good version of that channel that already exists. And there's just not going to be an audience that cares about you as much as they care about that first channel. Like that's just the reality of it. So kind of knowing your voice, and you can borrow ideas from other people, and you can kind of like twist things and make them your own. But when you just try to, like, people always try to rip off like Sam Colder, Casey Neistat. Those are like the big ones. Yeah, and you can always tell. And yeah, if you want your own audience, you have to be your own Sam Colder, Casey Neistat.
Or Mango Street, your own Mango Street. For me, you guys are on the top of that list, by the way. Like, I really love your content, and it's unique. You're teaching so many people, like, basic and complicated, educational content about photography and filmmaking, and it's, for me, I remember watching you guys was super inspiring and helpful, and, it was fun watching you guys. You were entertaining as well, which we talked about, where, introverted, how do you do that, how do you come across the camera, but you were entertaining, for me at least. So, good job on that, and those are really good tips. Everybody that are watching right now, if you just joined, I'm talking to Rachel Gulotta. She is a part of the Mango Street channel with her husband Daniel, and she has another channel called Rachel Gulotta Fitness, where she instructs and teaches you all about fitness and fitness exercises. So she's a real YouTuber, successful one, I have to say. So listen to what she has to say. Are you guys, do you have like different creative processes for your channels? Like, do you go into that channel with a different creative process in opposed to a different one?
So for both channels, for all 3 channels, we have like a formula for how to make our videos that requires like little to no creative thought. I would say that like the creativity on the workout channel just comes in like writing the workouts, and then the creativity on the Mango Street channel comes in like the ideas, like what we're going to shoot, what we're going to talk about, and then here and there, like how are we going to like transition this shot? How are we gonna like little things like that? Yeah, but for the most part, in order to, put out a video every week or 3 videos a week, you kind of have to have like your main process, like kind of know like when you turn on the camera, like what you need to do. Do you know what I mean? Like you kind of have to just
For sure.
have the same process that you do every time. Yeah.
But you probably learned along the way, like how to, make that process better and more efficient.
Yeah, we've kind of the first video that we did on Mango Street, it took us like all weekend to edit it. And then we've kind of stuck to that format this entire time. Every once in a while, we'll get a video where it has to be longer, or we'll get a video where we're like, I don't know, we have to fit certain ad spots in or whatever, where we have to adjust our main formula. But truly, from the very beginning, we knew we wanted like succinct videos. We knew we wanted to give like quick tips, do a recap. We knew that like we're super awkward, like you were saying, like so that like there has to be like humor incorporated in some ways to like make people forgive us for our awkwardness. Yeah, and we've kind of been doing, yeah, even on the fitness channel, like the first video I did was like that set the tone for like the rest of the videos that I'm making. And on Daniel's channel, they're all the same too. So it's, yeah, I think we kind of like walked into the process like from the get-go, which having a background in video, I think was helpful for that. Daniel and I both do, so.
Yeah, that was my next question. You probably like watched different fitness channels, and in the back of your mind, you probably thought about like, how can I make it look better? Like, I have the skills, I have the experience, I've done this for years now, and I know that I can take the visuals for that channel, or maybe like the look and feel for my channel, to a different place.
I did, yeah. So I would watch videos and I would pick out what I liked and what I didn't like. So like when I watch a video that there's no talking, I'm like, I want to have no talking videos. And then I also really wanted to bring something new to the table. So even just like the branding of the video, I this is like embarrassing for me to say, but I looked around on like Instagram to like all of these. There's like a certain like a micro influencer, I think is like maybe the best term for it. There's a certain kind of
up and coming like influencers, where you see they have their own unique look.
They have their own, yes, they all shoot the same like places, the same kind of poses, the same kind of editing. It's like a very strong niche, and like I was like, that's my target demographic. So I want to like, because I kind of have to set like a target demographic to like know what you're. Yeah, so I knew my color palette, I knew like my text, I knew everything that I wanted to have based on that. And what was the question?
That you probably saw like different fitness channels, and you said to yourself, I could do that, I can make it look better. Like I have the skills.
So there's a lot of like nobody was like reaching out to those people who are like, there's a lot of people who, like that sort of aesthetic, and that's what people comment all the time, that they like the aesthetic of it. And I also wanted to do like really calming stretch breaks. And so like I use Artlist. Don't tell anybody. I don't want anybody taking my stretch break ideas. So I use or not Artlist, but ArtGrid.
Okay.
I use ArtGrid to get like really beautiful footage. So during the stretch breaks, I play like a lot of like nature scenes and add like some Foley to make it feel like really relaxing. And I have not yet seen that on any other channel, and I feel like that's something that like makes it also stand apart and helps. Like my goal is to make people feel good, and I feel like that adds to it, makes your brain feel good.
Cool. So, but I really liked. First of all, that's really cool because you saw like a gap in the visuals, and that you also wanted to fill in, but also planning your demographic, and then like understanding your demographic and planning your color palettes and your fonts and the tone of voice and everything according to that is so smart. I'm not sure that a lot of people start off like that, and that only comes with experience.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, a lot of that's what I I see, and that's what I feel, is that a lot of them just like look at what the other person is doing, and they all use the same like kind of standard fonts, the same timers, the same, and they're not really making it their own or making it unique, or making it for a certain group of people, I guess.
Right, right. Cool. So let's see. We just talked about how to build like your own style, but if you want to give tips to like other YouTubers or other up and coming YouTubers, is there anything else that like you could take into consideration or when building your style?
I can say that when I was before the channel existed, the first thing that I did was go to Pinterest and then like build like like I had a color palette, I had like what kind of fonts I wanted, I had like different like icons and stuff that I wanted to like see everything all in one place. And you don't have to do that on Pinterest, but it's just like an easy way to do it. You can do it in Photoshop or there's a lot of tools for that. But that's what helped me visualize what I wanted the channel to look like all in one place.
Awesome. And that's a good tip because I have to say, like with everything, not only creating YouTube channels, but any creative project that you're going into, it's really helpful. Here at Artlist, we also do that for every project we do. There's references, there's color palettes, there's like a lot of them are from Pinterest as well. Different paintings, different photos, songs that all convey the mood and feel that you're trying to achieve. So everything that you do, especially when you're building a YouTube channel, definitely try to do that even if you don't have a client or whatever.
Yeah.
It's for yourself to understand like where
Right.
are you going with that project.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it's Women's Day. How is it for you? Like, what's your feelings of being a woman creator in 2021?
Yeah.
Society has gone, we've been through sort of a mind shift, but do you feel that? Like, how is that for you?
I would say that it's not something that I think about a lot, but it is something that I'm affected by from time to time, especially on the Mango Street channel. When we started the channel, I never really, and even still, I don't really consider photography or making videos, filmmaking, to be tech-based. I approach it more through like the lens of art, and like that's how I appreciate photography. Those are the kind of photographers I like. Aren't people who are just trying to sell you a camera. They're like the people who are creating meaningful, I don't know, works of art. And so I did not think that we were starting a tech channel. I didn't think I was going to be a woman in tech. And so, but I am. I feel like a little bit like a representative of my gender in this space, even though I don't consider myself a tech person. And so how that's affected me is, even though I'm not necessarily always interested in tech, I always feel like I need to be. I like say we're making a video about drone photography. I think it's always like important to have shots of me actually operating the drone, me speaking about what I like about the drone, just to like kind of let people know it's okay that girls can fly drones too. Which seems silly, and it's not something that I'm very passionate about, but just because of the space that I'm in as a woman, I feel like that's something that I need to do. What was the exact question?
Well, how is it for you to being a creator in these times, like 2021?
Yeah.
A woman creator.
So things are a little bit different for me. Like it's kind of interesting because Daniel and I run the tech channel together. And so it's kind of interesting to see, like a lot of times, like especially when we were first starting out, people would call it Daniel's channel. Like I was just there as a like to model or to, we were both writing, we were both shooting. He was mostly editing, but I was sitting next to him while he was editing. Like we were both like 50-50 a part of it, but that wasn't really recognized. And so that's just something that like we've had to like make a conscious effort to like say like this is a two-person channel, like we're both adding something to this. And there are things that we do, like for example, we just put out a video today, but the video that we put out before this one was about my first music video that I ever shot. And we couldn't frame it that way because it's about all the mistakes that I made. And I really felt like if we frame it as just like my mistakes, my failures, then one, I'm doing a disservice to girls somehow because people are going to like judge it differently.
Wow.
And two, people are going to be a lot more harsh. Instead of like hearing the advice that we're giving in the video, they're going to, be more judgmental. And so like Daniel had to be in the video with me. We had to say like, we had to use our, like our mistakes. This is like something that we would have done differently. So just stuff like that.
Yeah, did you really like think about it where like that's not a good representation of like women creators? Like if you'll be alone there and talking about your mistakes, like that would be...
Yeah, that's something that we do have to like consider and think about. We kind of like approach it as like we're photographers, not like I'm a I don't know. I don't know.
But
we just it's something that we have to be mindful of.
That's definitely something that I can understand. Like the fact that there aren't like the majority of filmmakers are actually, and unfortunately men. I would want to have way more women in the industry, kicking ass.
Yeah.
But the fact
I
is,
think there are. I'm sorry. I think there are a lot of them, but they're not the big names that people care about. And I do think that there's something to that. I don't think that, you should just look to someone's gender as like, this is the reason why I follow them. But I do think that there are a lot of really awesome women filmmakers out there. I think one of my favorite filmmakers and directors and just like tutorial makers is Valentina V. And she's someone who should be like at the top of everybody's list when they're making their, they're having their like events and they're inviting all these like great filmmakers and stuff. And she's not, people don't like think, I feel like she's not picked as much. And yeah, I think that they definitely exist. And I think they just need more recognition.
For sure. Couldn't agree more. Even here at Artlist, we really try to balance the amount of female workers and male workers in overall the company and also in like management roles. It's super important for us to have that, representation of female employees. And the fact of the matter, there are really, really, really good sometimes, and not sometimes. I mean, they're awesome, and it's something that should be in every place. Like, definitely in corporation, and I really wish there were more creators. There's a lot of them, and they should get more recognition. Women creators, for sure. So, let's see. In YouTube in general, there is more male creators. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, what would you say to other female creators who are maybe not afraid, but concerned of getting in front of the camera and, being themselves and opening a YouTube channel?
Yeah, probably just the same thing that we talked about earlier. Just kind of like being comfortable with yourself, knowing your voice. I always think like if this is if I'm making something that I like, then somebody else out there is going to like it as well. So you just kind of have to like trust that you you know what people want to, if it's something that you like, then other people are going to like it. And if you just do that, then an audience will follow. Yeah, but I don't know, like I don't know what determines like who's a big YouTuber or not. I think a lot of it has to do with algorithms and a lot of it has to do with like the people that YouTube, the platform promotes. And there are women included in that. And I think that they're making like a more conscious effort to do that. But yeah, I don't know what the advice is if you're a woman, like how to, I don't know, through that lens, how you make, how you stand out more. I don't know what the answer to that is. I think maybe, whoever writes the YouTube algorithm maybe knows the answer to that.
I have to say that we did a film about Currently Hannah last year for Women's Day, and she experienced like a lot of, let's say, not nice comments on her YouTube channels, and she said something that I really liked. She said, like, you just look at the good parts of what you're doing, look at the people you're influencing, look at all the people you're inspiring, go over there's always going to be haters. It doesn't matter if you're a female or a male.
Yeah.
And just, just don't let it get to you. It's hard, I know, but keep doing what you're doing, keep being true to yourself, and that will definitely take you far at the end.
Yeah. I think that's great advice. I think it's really hard advice to follow, but I think that's really
It's
good
super
advice.
hard, I know. It's super hard being in front of the camera and getting a criticism. Yeah, that's tough, but there's a lot of great creators out there that are doing it and proving everybody's that they're wrong. Do you, like, we've talked about the part where you planned the YouTube channel and you decided like Daniel should be beside me. Do you feel like you're representing female creators in some way?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, just whenever we do anything on Mango Street, I always have to be, just as a person, I'm not like, to me tech is so second to the story, or like making something meaningful. Tech is just a tool that you use to do it. I don't think that's because I'm a woman that I feel that way. I think that's just because I don't know, the way that I appreciate photography is through the lens of art. Um, but yeah, so I do feel like I have to care about the tech, like interact with it, talk about it. Even though that's not genuinely who I am, I still feel like that's something that I have to do just because I'm representing women. So that when somebody is watching it in Michigan and they have their ideas about uh, like this drone is for, then then it maybe can open their eyes to like, oh, girls, women like doing this too, you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
How is it working with Daniel, your husband? Like, it seems you guys have a really special relationship, and following you over on Mango Street, you got married while you were doing the YouTube channel. Like, how was it exposing your relationship to other people and like working together?
Yeah, I love working with Daniel. I think that we're lucky. I think that's maybe not normal that like people like spending time with their significant other. But yeah, I love he before we went full time with YouTube, he was working full time an office job where he did motion graphics. And uh since he's been home, like I love it so much and we work so well together. Every everything that he's so good at, I don't know, our strengths just like really complement each other. Like the things that like my weak places are his strengths and vice versa. Um, so yeah, it's, I feel like we make a really good team. Uh, as far as like opening our relationship up to like the internet, I don't know if I would recommend that 10 out of 10. I don't know if I'm like so stoked that we've done that. There's something, and there's a lot that like, we just keep for us. Um, yeah, I don't know if I would recommend doing that. If we could go back, I don't know if I would do that like 100% again, but Yeah.
I've seen
What
you
was
guys. You answered the question. I wasn't working with Daniel, but I have to say, I seen you guys working together. Like when you came over to visit us in Israel, and you were shooting the video. It was beautiful. It was amazing seeing you guys work together, giving each other advice. You know, it was just supernatural. It was great seeing it from the side, and I specifically and everybody here at Artlist wish that you guys would come over again, and that you guys will keep on doing things together and separately. That's awesome seeing that, and it's awesome to see that you guys, you can also separate and do your own niches and help each other, which is also, not all couples or that work together would want to do that thing, like separate and try to do each their own thing. Like, how was that going into these, different projects? That was probably, you got the support from Daniel, and Daniel got the support from you, probably.
Yeah, yeah, it's really natural. He had been talking about making his channel for a long time, and so that got me thinking, like, if I did a channel, like, what would I want it to be? And when he's working on his channel, like, what am I going to be working on? So yeah, it was really natural to do that. And like I said, like, we still like will bounce ideas off of each other, help each other out with like thumbnails, and he calls off like when I do workouts, I like make a timer, and he calls off the timer as I'm filming. So yeah, we're still very much like in each other's sets and stuff. But yeah, it's really nice working with him. I like it.
Awesome, awesome. And speaking about you guys and visiting here in Artlist, so I think you have a special relationship with Artlist. We've been working together for 3 years now, maybe more. You guys been using Artlist even beforehand.
We have been using Artlist from the very beginning. Before we could really afford the subscription, it was a big risk to take it, but we did it, and we're so happy that we did because, yeah, we super love Artlist.
Awesome. So you guys have been supporting us from, the get-go, and I hope we guys could, help you out as well, and I hope we helped you out along the way. So it's a really cool relationship. And another thing that maybe some of the viewers don't know, maybe a lot of the viewers don't know, and maybe some of the people that watch you and Daniel over at Mango Street don't know, is that Daniel has an album. He's an artist on Artlist. Generation Lost. He released a ton of new music over at Artlist, and you guys also have a new collection over at Artlist, right?
Yeah, he has a ton. I don't know how many albums he has, but maybe he still has more that he's even working on right now. But I think he has like at least 4, maybe 5 up on our list right now.
So it's amazing to see that you're so multi-skilled, the both of you. You're doing so many things, and having Daniel with us. And you guys are also, by the way, on Artgrid. You have a profile, filmmaker profile on Artgrid as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, we are definitely all over the place, especially Daniel.
So yeah, that's amazing. And if anybody that views us wants to hear Daniel and his songs over at Artlist, go. I think there's a link in the description below, but Generation Lost is the artist name, stage name. Go check it out. Some awesome tracks to soundtrack your videos. Yeah, that's Daniel on Artlist. Cool.
Thanks for the plug. He asked me to do that, and I forgot.
Sponsored. Plug. So how did you guys, like, you took the risk, but like how did you find out about Artlist?
I think it was another wedding photographer told us, but it was seriously so early on. I want to say there was only like 4 albums on our list. Like, it was so early on. And $200, like, we didn't start the business yet, and $200 was so much for us at that point. And we're like, this is a big risk. Like, should we do it? We had a full conversation about it. And yeah, I'm really glad that we did, because like at the time, I don't know if this is true, but this is what it seemed like. All of the other licensing sites, you had to buy songs individually. So like the subscription model is really attractive to us. and I know you can do that now on other sites, but it's still we still prefer Artlist just because of the kind of music that's on there. It's really hard to find, especially for my fitness videos, like the specific kinds of songs that I'm looking for. Um, it's really hard to find like unique, good music. And yeah, Artlist has always been there or been that for us. So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Happy to hear. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we've talked about it several times, but it's always great to hear how you guys, got into Artlist and started working with us. So, for sure. Let's see. Oh, I'm looking for good questions for you, Rachel. um, okay. That's about it from our side of questions, but we had some posts saying and announcing that you are here with us live today, and we asked the viewers and the people to submit their questions. So we have some questions for you guys, for you, Rachel, from you guys, the viewers and the Artlist community. Okay, so Honey Crisp Music asks, let's see. And also, Fivus asks here on the chat, any concrete tips for growing on YouTube regarding keywords, descriptions, any best practices that you've noticed along the way? But give us the real stuff, like emphasis on that. Give us the real stuff.
So I don't know if I can say anything that doesn't already like exist on YouTube, but I think for us that a thing that we've had to really be conscious of on Mango Street is the phrasing that we use in our titles. Like today, we just had to change the title because we use the word shoot for a photo shoot. And I think that, yeah, that could be flagged as like potentially a violent video. And so like just like little things like that you don't necessarily think about, that phrasing your videos in a way that they won't get flagged is something that we always like have to constantly go back and check. I don't know about like a thing that I've learned recently, which is maybe not a good tip, maybe everybody knows this, is that after you go through and tag your video, you can go through and double click on the tags, and then it'll tell you like how good that keyword is, if it's common. Yeah, and I don't.
That's a good tip. I didn't know that.
I hope that's for everybody, because we also use a thing like that might just be we use TubeBuddy. That might just be a TubeBuddy feature, but it seems like a YouTube feature. So yeah, if it doesn't work for you, then maybe sign up for TubeBuddy.
That's also a good tip. We're also using TubeBuddy, which is great to, trying to see more in-depth metrics.
Well, then you can probably definitely do it. Yeah. Once you do keywords that go back after they're already like in the description, go back and double click them, and then it'll show you like a whole bunch of analytics on each keyword.
Cool. Do you have like a specific growth hack that you've noticed?
No, I don't. I honestly, I feel like it changes all the time, and there's a lot of things about YouTube are frustrating, and not knowing how to best, make your channel grow. You put in all this work for each video, and then like, especially for us lately, like we just go on like little, like sometimes videos will trend and do really well, and we won't know why, and then sometimes we think a video is going to do well, and it doesn't. So I have no idea. I'm a terrible person to ask, because I feel like we're not very good at that. Yeah, with YouTube, you're in the dark a lot. It's just like kind of a lot of trial and error.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. It's a lot of trial and error. It's consistency.
Yeah.
I would say consistency is the #1 growth hack. Like, the more you post interesting content and valuable content,
yeah,
Consistency is one of the key factors for growing a YouTube channel, and also trying to look for, it's everything that we've talked about, but looking for that specific niche or gap that haven't been filled yet, and what can you bring to the plate. That's the best, that's the best advice for any up and coming YouTuber.
Yeah.
Any growth hacks? Always learn the algorithm, right? Try to figure out like what's new on the algorithm, what maybe
Yeah.
is
I
different
feel like it's
now.
constantly changing. Yeah. It's hard to stay on top of it.
Yeah, it's always changing, so always try to keep up to date with it, and maybe try out talking about different trends if you really want to explode. Like if there's a boxing match between whoever YouTuber, try
Yeah,
to talk about it.
you could try boxing other YouTubers. I feel like that would help you grow.
That's good, right? That's a trend that's going on lately, and for a few years now. Try maybe go into boxing,
Yeah,
but
next time we come to Artlist, maybe we could all box each other.
let's try that next time you come over. Lil Miss Beats, a musician from Cape Town, asks, "Love your work. How do you?" Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I said I recognize that name.
Oh,
Lil Miss.
really?
Yeah.
So, love your work. How do you balance creating for your soul, creating for your job?
That's a really good question. Um, I don't know if I would ever call creating YouTube videos like rewarding for my soul. It just doesn't seem that important to me. But yeah, like creating videos that I want to make, videos that make me happy versus videos that other people want us to make. Um, I don't know if we're very good at balancing that, but we definitely try to do both. Um, like for example, when we came to Artlist last time, we talked about this. Like there are photographers that maybe aren't our cup of tea, but a lot of people really like and respect them, and we respect that. And so if they want to know how to edit like that photographer, how to make videos like this kind of filmmaker, then we'll definitely bend over backwards to figure out, so like break down their editing style, or whatever it is that people want to know, and we make those videos for people. But then at the same time, like if we get a good idea that we just have to make for ourselves, then we'll also do that too. And I don't know if we're good at balancing it. I think that's a question for our audience, not for us, but we definitely try to do both.
Are you
I
guys
don't know.
doing polls to see like what type of content people like to see? Or
Yeah, we do that from time to time. We do that on Twitter, but what we've honestly found, like on all three of our channels, is when we poll people, the top requests are never the videos that people actually want to watch the most. So I think that, yeah, the people who answer the polls are maybe not the people who watch the videos. I don't know.
Interesting. Same Little Miss Beats. She also asks, how do you nourish your mental health and balance it with your work and being in the public eye? Do you have any concerns about it?
I have so many concerns about it.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm good at balancing it. I do think that like stepping away from the internet and social media in general is just really good, and everybody should do that at some point. We don't do it enough. I don't do it enough. I think that's really the best thing that you can do for yourself, is just taking a break from social media.
For sure. Rafael Lopez asks, Rachel, what to do when you have a creative hangover? Like 1 week you love your work, the next week you think it looks like trash.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling for sure. Um, I don't know if I have a good answer to this. Yeah, that's like a self-confidence thing. I think that it's just like really important to not, I don't know, judge yourself, because my whole entire thing is I have I'm really afraid of being too confident. I'm like grossed out by confidence. I never want to have like overconfidence. And so I never like look at my work as like, oh, this is so good. And I think that um that's probably a negative thing to do. And it's probably something I shouldn't talk about on International Women's Day. But yeah, I think that the positive side of that is I'm never like let down by my work because I don't have high expectations for it. I feel like this is a bad. I probably shouldn't answer this question.
No,
I feel
no,
like that's
no.
bad.
I wanna add to that. Okay.
Okay, yeah, add to it.
I think it's not about looking back at your work and saying that work looks great and that looks trash. It's about thinking about the process that you went through in order to create that work and what you've learned along the way. And that's really the key for, for these type of situations when you're like we all been there. We all been at a place where we look back at the videos and say like, oh my God, like I was terrible in front of the camera, or this was really bad. But first of all, you learned something along the way. And second, you probably inspired someone, or you probably helped someone with that video. So that's my answer. And I think
That's a way better answer. That's good advice.
But that's what you tried to say. It just, basically, I just wanted to translate what you meant. But yeah, that's definitely how I would look at it. Let's see who else. Okay, Giselle Bahutra. I hope I said that right. Keep watching your vlogs and short movies. I love them. They're so well thought out. Are you planning to get more into cinematography and videography? Much love, kisses. From Giselle.
Thanks for the kisses, Giselle. I think that maybe she's talking about our like when we do travel videos. It's kind of those are sort of our vlogs.
Yeah.
We're definitely like in the mood to make more of that kind of stuff. We've just been so limited this past year. Everything that we've had to make has been inside of our apartment. There's like a lot of burnout, not just from just from everything that's gone on this past year, plus like having to keep coming up with new videos to do like with the same backdrop over and over again. So yeah, as soon as we're able to get back out into the world, I'm sure we'll be very inspired to keep making new fun vlogs.
Yeah, Giselle, I have to say, I've talked to Rachel before we started this live session, and we talked about how we're both waiting for the world to open, the skies to open again, and we all can travel and make beautiful cinematic travel videos. And Mango Street can keep doing those awesome videos. Okay. Wow, these are really hard names. Urielan Kritu. I don't know. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that well enough. But asking about your poetry, and if there's a book in the works. Is there?
I love writing. Writing's my absolute favorite creative medium. I don't consider what I write poetry. So there's not ever going to be a poetry book. But yeah, I wrote like a sort of memoir, which is like a series of vignettes, and I paired it with different photos that I've made. And yeah, our agent has it right now, and we're looking into maybe getting it published or maybe self-publishing it. So yeah, maybe in the future. I would love that. That's like been a long goal of mine to do that. So hopefully.
Awesome. I didn't know that. So first of all, it's awesome to hear. And when it's finished and you do publish that, let us know. We're going to try to push it from our sides because we love you guys and we want to help you out. Awesome. I think that's all the questions we've got from the audience. And I think that's actually our time. So Rachel, thank you for talking to us, joining us on International Women's Day. You were a great representative to female creators around the world, even if you think that you haven't been, but you are, and you are by just doing what you're doing. And again, thank you for everything. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. And that's it. Have a great week, everybody.
And thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. We couldn't have thought of a better creator, female creator, to join us and talk to us. So thank you, Rachel. Send our love to Daniel as well, and
I will.
keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
אתה עושה. זה אצלי במסך האינסטרים.
בסדר.
תביא לי רגע את העכבר.
אוקיי.
תביא רגע.
סליחה.